How's it going? Dave here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about drop 3 voicings. This is the second part in a series on drop voicings, so if you want to learn what drop voicings are, check out the video up there. But in today's video we're going to learn a load of drop 3 voicings and then learn how to implement them in a chord progression, and you'll see how just playing these drop voicings can really make a chord progression sound a lot more interesting. So let's quickly just recap what a drop 3 voicing is. If we have a 4-way close voiced C major 7 chord here, then what we're going to do is we're just going to take the second lowest note, which is E, and drop that down an octave, and we get this kind of sound. We're actually going to be learning this shape in a second. I'm going to show you shapes for major 7, minor 7, and dominant 7th chords. I'm going to show you all 4 inversions with the bass on the 5th string and with the bass on the 6th string. And if you want some tabs for all of these chords, then I'm going to link you in the description at my Patreon page. So let's get started with these chords. We're first of all going to look at how to play a major 7 chord. We're going to be playing a C major 7 in all these different inversions as a drop 3 voicing. So the first voicing is this. You might be quite familiar. It's like just a stripped down version of your standard bar chord that you would probably use. Then the second shape looks like this. I think this one sounds especially nice compared to all the others. Then we've got this one. And like in the previous video, there was one that had a semitone interval, and I really like chords that have semitone intervals, because they just add a really nice tension to your chord progressions. Then you have this one as well. Then with the root on, or the bass in the 6th string, we have this shape. Again, you're probably familiar with that, with the root in the bass. Now if we bring the 3rd into the bass, we get this shape. If we bring the 5th into the bass, we get this shape. And then if we put the major 7th in the bass, we get this shape. So those are 8 different shapes for a major 7 chord with a drop 3 voicing. Now let's look at how we can do some minor 7th chords. So we have this one to start off with, and we're going to be playing a C minor 7. So the root note is in the bass. That's the first shape. Then for the second shape, we get this one, and it has the flat 3rd in the bass. Quite a fiddly one. Then you get this shape there, and then you get this shape as well. Some really interesting chord shapes here. So the bass on the 6th string, we get this shape. Again, you're familiar with that one probably. Then we get this shape with the flat 3rd in the bass. Then if we move the 5th into the bass, we get this shape. And then if we move the flat 7th into the bass, we get this shape. And now let's talk about dominant 7th chords. So we've got this one as a C dominant 7th chord. I'm going to be doing all of these shapes as C dominant 7th chords. So that's the first one. Then the second one. Then we get this shape. And then we get this shape. The 7th in the bass, the flat 7th in the bass. Then for the bass on the 6th string, we get this. Then if we put the 3rd in the bass, we get this. And then if we put the 5th in the bass, we get this shape. I'm going to play it down here because it's easier. And then if we put the flat 7th in the bass, we get this shape. So there are 24 different shapes that you can use for drop voicings. I know it's a lot, but if you can learn them all, they're going to come in handy a lot, and they're going to be a great addition to your songwriting toolbox. Now, let's just quickly make a chord progression and use these drop voicings to see how it sounds. So I'm going to take a chord progression: C, A minor, D minor, F, G, and we'll turn them into 7th chords. So C major 7, A minor 7, D minor 7, F major 7, and G 7. And let's see how we can use these drop 3 voicings to create a chord progression. So first of all, for the C major 7 with your tonic chord, I think it's probably best to keep the root note of your chord in the bass. So that's exactly what I'm doing here for this shape. Then for the A minor, I'm putting the 7th in the bass and using this shape. So we've gone from here to here. Then for the D minor, I like to use this shape. So it's a really nice transition from the A minor. Then for the F major 7, I'm going to use this shape. I think this is my favourite out of all of the drop 3 voicings. And then for the G7, I'm going to use this shape. And what I really love about this shape is because our dominant 7th chord creates enough tension anyway, this creates even more tension because you've got that tritone, but then you've got like a major 2nd straight after, which is another dissonant interval. So you've got 2 dissonant intervals on top of each other, and you get that real tension before resolving back on the C major 7. So altogether, so you get something that sounds a bit like that. And I think these drop voicings sound really nice. So learn all of those voicings. If you want the tabs, head to my Patreon and see if you can create some really cool chord progressions with your drop voicings. Now, if you enjoyed the video, let me know what you thought in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and also if you're looking to create some really cool chord progressions, you can head down to the description, and in the description I've got a free copy of the first 2 chapters of my book Chord Charisma. And in those first 2 chapters, you learn how to create a solid foundational chord progression. And I have loads of chord shapes for 7th, 9th, 11th and 13th that you can add on to those chords. And I tell you which ones to use for which. And it will really improve your chord progressions. So if that sounds interesting to you, check it out. And I'll see you in the next video.